I'm currently building a startup that is completely failing and I need to figure out what I can do to fix this problem. And in this video, I'm going to do exactly just that, talk about the various ideas and strategies that I might have to figure out how to revive my startup and probably also crash out over how bad things are going. So stay tuned for a potential generational crash out. So just for a little bit of context, my name is Your Average Tech Bro, and I have been building apps part-time on the side while working a full-time job the past 4 years. I've built over 14 different apps and the vast majority of them have failed. But over the past couple of years, maybe the past year or so, I built maybe 4 separate apps that have made greater than $1,000 a month of revenue at their peak. And the current app that I'm working on with my co-founder is an app called perfectinterview.ai. It is an AI-powered job prepping tool. Essentially, the way that it works is it is a suite of tools that helps anyone land a job. We have a bunch of micro tools built into it, like an AI resume builder, interview question generator where people upload a job description, we generate all the interview question material for them, they can practice against it, blah, 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 blah. And then we also have an interview co-pilot tool, which essentially just helps you cheat on your interviews by listening in on your interviews, transcribing them, and answering all the questions for you there. So that's the product that we have. Objectively, not doing horrible. It's currently doing around $2K a month of revenue for the past 2-3 months or so, which you asked me a year ago, I would have been so ecstatic for. I'd be like, holy shit, I made it $2,000 a month. That's crazy. But then I realized we have a problem. This would be great if this was just a side hustle that I want to have for the rest of my life. But I don't want this to be a side hustle. I no longer want to work a full-time job if I don't have to. My dream life is being able to go all in full-time on my apps. But right now, $2,000 a month for an app split between 2 co-founders isn't enough to survive in the USA. So my co-founder and I, we were thinking pretty deeply about what can we do to turn this from a side hustle that just generates a few $1,000s a month to a proper startup that makes millions of dollars of revenue per year. And we started thinking deeply about what we're building. One of the big problems of Perfect Interview is that at its core successful state, if you were to imagine what the most successful version of this product is, it essentially has a 100% churn rate. Kind of like a dating app, how theoretically dating apps, it should help you get a date. You no longer will need to use that app. You should uninstall the app from your phone. Similarly with Perfect Interview, if someone were to use our product and it worked really, really well, they're going to get a job and they no longer have a use case for our tool. So it's kind of like a flash in the pan. You use it for a very short period of time, but it kind of disappears for a couple years again. So that's why our app has 100% churn built into it. So then if we were to do the math to try to figure out how can we scale this product into an actually multi-million dollar per year product, there's kind of 2 options that we could go down. Number one is to charge extremely high prices, like $300, $400, $500 per customer, so that our lifetime value per customer is so high that it's okay if they churn because we've already got a lot of money from them. But that option doesn't feel that great because it feels kind of predatory trying to raise prices on a product that is designed to help people look for a job to make more money. It just doesn't feel right. It's like you're kicking somebody while they're already down. And then option number 2 would be to figure out how to out distribute and how to out market some of the existing incumbents in the space that have potentially multi-millions of dollars of cash in their war chest from investors or multi-millions of dollars of cash from just being first to the market and being around longer. And that's less predatory and less morally ambiguous, but a lot harder to execute. So that's why my co-founder and I are kind of stuck in this middle ground where it makes money and it's not enough money to like go all in on it, but it's also not too little money for us to just quit and never think about it again. We're kind of stuck in this limbo area where we're like, I guess we can kind of still work on it. We can still keep it alive. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I spent 4 years building like 14 different apps. And then this past year and a half building apps with my co-founder. And this has kind of been a recurring pattern that we've been noticing with the things that we are building. So for some context, my co-founder and I initially started working together because we were friends from social media. He's also a content creator, Meng Duck on social media. And so we originally teamed up because we said, hey, I'm a builder, he's a marketer, he's run a social media marketing agency before in the past. So we figured, why don't we come together? I build apps and he handles all the marketing. And with that mindset, we essentially only built apps in the consumer space, apps that we can market via organic social media because that's his bread and butter. And that's an area that we're both very familiar with, making social media content. And it did work because we were able to build 3-4 different apps that made over $1,000 a month of revenue at their peak. But I think the biggest mistake that we made so far, I don't even know if I'd call it a mistake, but something that we've always been doing so far is that every single product we build, we try to build it with like not a really clear target demographic or target customer in mind. Every single app that we build is so generic where, for example, Perfect Interview, who is the target customer? We're building an app for all job seekers. For a previous app that we built called Monty.ai, it's like an AI note-taking tool, we said, oh, we're building this productivity app for all knowledge workers in the world. Because we casted such a wide net, it was really hard for us to find something that was like really differentiating. And because our target customer was just so wide and a lot of these industries and businesses that we're going into are really popular and already have a lot of competition in them, there really wasn't too much that differentiated us from the existing competition. There's no way for us to like gain a little advantage by coming in at a different angle. We were just like another fish in the ocean being like, hey, this is us. We do everything that the other apps do, but yeah, that's us. We didn't give any reason for anyone to use our app over others. So I do think it's kind of a mistake or an error on our end, at least in the past year and a half, for not making a very, very targeted demographic. So I do think that's a mistake that we've kind of made on our end of just trying to be a general purpose application for everybody. But in the end, if you're building for everybody, you're almost building for nobody. So that's what we've been doing for the past year and a half. And we realized, hey, it's worked. It's kind of worked. It's helped us build a couple of apps that are great side hustles that make a couple $1,000 a month, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But right now we're in a phase where we want to really grow into a proper business that makes multiple millions of dollars a year. So we're trying to shake things up completely and do everything that feels wrong in our gut. Just do the polar opposite of what we thought was right in the past year and a half. And with that in mind came a third option of what we're going to try for the next couple months or so to pivot and improve and revive our startup of Perfect Interview. So we found option number 3, which is to pivot our technology into a B2B use case. I used to meme on all of the B2B SaaS boys being like, man, consumer is so much cooler. B2B is whack as fuck, bro. Why would you ever build in that space? But now I'm going to eat my words and I think I'm going to become a B2B SaaS player. So hurts my ego, hurts my soul, but I think it is the right decision forward. And the reason for that is because, well, with B2B products, you can charge way more per month for your product because businesses have deeper pockets. And with a B2B pivot that we're making right now, we're actually solving a much longer and persistent pain point instead of just being like a short 3 to 6 month stint of like, oh yeah, I got a job. I don't need this app anymore. Instead, we're going to try to use our technology and sell it as a technology to solve a pivotal pain point that comes up every single day, every single month for these businesses. So then our LTV, our lifetime value per customer, goes from just a single purchase from the B2C angle to hopefully multi-month, multi-year contracts with much bigger businesses instead. And right now, the angle that we're trying to go with the B2B play for Perfect Interview is by trying to white label our technology to other Instagram, social media career coaches out there in the world. This actually all started back in January when an existing career coach on Instagram DM'd us saying, hey guys, I really love your tool, Perfect Interview. Can I white label it and upload my own questions and my own answer guidelines and use into your platform? And then I can use your platform for my students to practice preparing for their interviews with. We were like, huh, that's really interesting. And then we did a little bit more research. We're like, okay, we have one data point. Let's DM a couple more people, a couple other career coaches and see if there's any other interest out there. And lo and behold, we did get some pretty good interest. I think we DM'd like 3-4 people and we had like 100% hit rate. They all replied back to us saying, I'm interested, tell me more. So we think we have an interesting angle here where essentially these career coaches, they are already doing these mock interviews. They already have these practice questions that they give their students and they have to manually review their answers, grade their answers, manually go through mock interviews and provide feedback on every single mock interview. So the bottleneck is the career coach right there. But now the idea is that if these career coaches can instead use our platform, upload all of their questions onto our platform, their students can practice against these questions an unlimited amount of times. AI can provide unlimited amount of feedback. Their students can do unlimited amount of mock interviews. And then the career coach only has to step in at the very, very end and maybe do one final mock interview before an actual job interview that their student is getting. So then it becomes a core part of these career coaches' business because it's helped automating like 80 to 90% of manual work that they were previously doing. And then this flip side, the students can get more and more practice because they're no longer bottlenecked by the career coach not being available to hop on a call for a practice interview or practice question feedback. So that is the pivot that we are going for right now. We are just working with a small group of like 2 career coaches right now, keeping it very, very small. And I'm gonna be honest, this feels wrong to me. I feel like, oh, the market's too small. What if we can't find enough customers? Can we really find that many career coaches out there that are willing to pay for this tool? It feels wrong within every bone and it's like part of my body. But I think that is a good signal because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to shake things up, switch things around, do something different. And I saw this banger quote from another entrepreneur who said, in the beginning stages, don't build for personas, build for persons. And I was like, whoa, that's a bar right there. So right now, I'm not thinking about persona. Actually, I kind of am. It's like social media career coaches, but forget the persona. We have 2 actual IRL people that we have their contact info for that are very interested in using our product to help make their businesses run smoother and free up time on their end and provide a better experience for their students. And that's what we're focusing on right now. I don't know if this pivot is going to work. We'll see. I'm going to document it. We will find out in real time whether it works or not. I'll keep y'all updated on this YouTube channel, whether this pivot is actually going to work. But I'm hopeful. I think this pivot is the right thing to do, just switching things up. So I'm hoping in the next few months, I have some good updates to provide all of you that this B2B pivot will work out. If you're interested in that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll keep y'all updated on how this all goes. It didn't actually crash out all that much. I kept it pretty normal, pretty cool and calm. Maybe next time I'll do a bigger crash out if I really go go crazy. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.